Hey guys, I've decided for the last video of 2020 to remake an old topic I used to do a lot on this channel, and that is the SS America. My most popular video, or one of them, is about the SS America, and it is very inaccurate. I've decided that to end off 2020, I should make this video on the SS America. So, let's detail the story once again. When the SS United States Lines was falling into trouble in the 1930s, they decided to order a new ship. The new ship had interiors that would be completely designed by women, a first at sea. It was also meant to show that America could build luxurious liners too. Because of the war in Europe, it was decided to take the vessel to the New York to Panama route, mainly because the Panama Canal was a new thing at the time. The SS America had to eventually join the war after the attack on Pearl Harbor, and so was converted into a troop ship. One of the most notable things it did was rescue people from the bombing of Singapore. After the war, she brought people home from the war in Europe, and so she served for another year before she could finally return to the United States lines. The SS America could finally go to Southampton, the route she was made for, and it was shown that America could build luxurious liners, as the SS America was known to be very comfortable. However, when the 1950s rolled along, the SS United States was brought into service and was way faster and bigger than the SS America. However, the SS America's lavish interior still became known and shows she was still a favorite of many. Eventually, she was chartered for Chandos Cruises, which ended up sailing the vessel all the way from Greece to Sydney, Australia, a very long route that was becoming really popular at the time. However, as a threat was literally soaring above them, it was decided that they would do cruises. In 1977, the ship was sold to Venture Cruise Lines, who was a new cruise line that I could barely find any information on. All I know is that the ship was so bad when it was renovated that they had to turn around before passing the Statue of Liberty. In fact, the passengers were so mad at the people and to how bad the cruise was that they were dumped off in the Bahamas without their luggage or money, and the ship turned back right to New York. Chandos decided to buy the vessel right back and name it to the Italus. However, after only 2 months, it was shown that the ship was getting extremely old. Sadly now, the SS America had done her last voyage and was on its way to the scrapyards. The SS America was saved from the scrapyards and was laid up in Patrice Bay at Greece. She was bought by a company that aimed to turn her into a prison ship called the Noga. However, plans fell under. It was then decided she would be sold to Silver Moon Ferries and turned into, well, the details are scarce about what would have happened, but anyway, plans fell under for that too. One man also quoted about the ship, "It was dead, but its carcass was still warm." In the meantime, a scrapyard bought the ship, and so to prepare for her towage to Alang, India, it was then decided to scrap some of the stuff on her deck, like for example a lifeboat. However, finally, the ship was saved and was going to be turned into a museum in Phuket, Thailand. Dry docking also revealed that although the ship had been sitting in Greece for 15 years, its hull was in surprisingly good condition. Finally, the 100-day tow started, with a tugboat towing the ship that, by the way, is now abandoned as well. Anyway, somewhere off the coast of the Canary Islands, a freak storm broke the tow line, and so the SS America drifted to Fortaventura. After only 2 days, the waves in Fortaventura had broke the ship in two, and on July 1997, the ship was declared a total loss. As the years went by, the now called American Star sat at Fortaventura, with locals even building a zipline off to retrieve parts. However, after a couple of trips to the wreck, it was found a couple people had died swimming out there, and those who were on had to be airlifted off. It was only during the calm summer months could people swim on. But as the years went by, the stern finally collapsed into the water. The ship was now a very famous wreck to the locals, especially since it had claimed a couple lives. But now, the SS America was just the bow and it attracted tourists. The ship became more famous than it already was, but as the years went by, the bottom of the ship was weakened and the fate was uncertain. In 2007, some big changes happened with the wreck, especially because it had now capsized. The funnel had fallen off, and now the bridge and superstructure were being smashed to bits by the waves. People began not climbing on it, and in fact, only 3 people actually took photos of the interiors before the ship was finally lost to the Canary Islands. In 2016, the wreck could no longer be seen on Google Maps, especially after they updated it, and now the wreck was completely lost, and today there is almost nothing left. Underwater, however, you can still see much of the wreck intact, and one day I am looking to go to the wreck. And that's the story of the SS America, a ship that ended up getting lost to the sea. I personally think that it should have been turned into a museum ship at Europe instead of just been towed across the coast of Africa near the Canary Islands. Although they could have probably just used the Suez Canal now that I think of it. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this very last video of 2020. I hope you guys are all staying safe and are looking forward to 2021. Goodbye.